Hi. So, who's asleep? It's 3:15 on Thursday. Everybody really wiped out? I know I am.
I can see it from here.
Yeah, I am. I'd be tired. So, we are going, God, I hope my notifications are off. We are going to talk about aging and ageism, what these things are, how they present themselves, what we can do to fix it, what we can't do, how we can't fix it, what we might do. We're going to have a great day, and you guys, if you've been in my sessions before, know that all of my sessions include audience participation. And I don't mean just that I'm going to ask a question and ask you to raise your hand. I mean, I'm going to make you get up out of your seats and do things, because I love that. Plus, when I rehearsed this, it was 30 minutes. So I need to add a little content. So you guys are going to help.
It's nap time.
No, it's no nap time. No nap time. We're good. We don't need no nap time.
Well done.
My name is Pam Lefkowitz. I work for Jump Cloud. I'm not wearing my Jump Cloud shirt because I'm not doing Jump Cloud now. Some of you guys know me as Always DNS, and I just realized I used all guys. I use guys. It's a habit I'm trying to break, because we are not guys. I will give a language alert. WPSU, this is for you. If you are at all sensitive to salty language, this is not the session for you. All right? Gretchen said I had to give a warning. I asked her permission. She was like, can you give a warning? I was okay, fine. So, because I have been assimilated into corporate life, I am told that every meeting needs to have an agenda. So, this is my agenda. We're going to talk about who's that lady. I'm going to help you and tell you who did it. And then we're going to talk about my generation. And then I'm going to give you too much information. We're going to talk about change or not. We're going to take a little deviation. And then we're going to talk about more change. Did anybody know all the artists for these? Yeah, rock on. All right. I have no idea what that meant. Oh, I think I hit a bad letter in there. I'll delete that slide before I send it up to you guys. So I gave this presentation like 9 years ago. Some of you might have been in it. And since 9 years ago, a few things have changed. 2 of my boys got married. 1 got engaged. I have grown 3 grandchildren, and they are amazing. I am the primary caregiver for my 93-year-old mother who's got dementia. And after many years of unsuccessfully applying for jobs, I finally closed my MSP 2 years ago and went to work for Jump Cloud. This is the blog that I'm in charge of. It's in the community. Here's my pitch, community.jumpcloud.com. That's what I write for. And I love my job. Not everybody can say that, but I love my job. So here's a couple things you might relate to, depending on where you fall in the generation scheme. Yeah, I can see like 98% of y'all are freaked out right now. How about this one? Somebody said yesterday in one of my sessions, I cannot remember who it was, that 1990 was just like 2 years ago. Yeah, it was. It was. So I present to you a smattering of stats regarding ages in a few of the top tech companies. We're going to play a game. What's the median age at Facebook? There you go. It's just all of them. What's the median age at the Facebook, SpaceX, and LinkedIn?
25. 28. 33. 32. 42.
One without going over.
Hey, Robert, how's that feel?
I got some people there who are older.
Some. How about Cisco, eBay, Microsoft, and Samsung?
37. 32. 33.
22, did you say? 32. Pretty close. Nice. Adobe and Apple?
20.
Who said 20? Awesome, Millie. This seems kind of old, doesn't it? How about Intel? And I have a son who works for Intel.
35. US or
35.
Yeah, it's kind of respectable. Amazon, Tesla, Salesforce, Google. Robert, how you feel?
27.
There you go. This is current as of within the last few months at this address up here, the pay scale address. That site, by the way, has some really interesting statistics on it. We'll do another one later. I thought it's just a very cool site. I enjoy numbers. Oh yeah, there's this. So I respect y'all.
Zero lies detected.
Yeah, had to include my Gen X people in here. So we have a system here where we define generations. We give them names, right? And to me, defining a generation is a simple way to pit people against each other. Right? You're a Gen Xer. You might be a millennial. Yeah, right? And millennials do
Nothing.
right? Nothing, apparently, right. So what's remarkable to me is that we've got 1, 2, 3, like 11 generations here that are all still living. That's a lot of years. That's a lot of years. This new one, this Generation Jones, I don't know, have any of you guys heard of this? No? Okay, because you younger folks won't, right? There's going to be a lot of this, so laugh. Gen Jones is that wacky generation spectrum that we were like teens in the 70s. We didn't grow up in the 60s. We were babies in the 60s, but we were still part of Boomer. But Gen Jones, we were the disco generation. That's what we hopped to in school, right? Weed was still acceptable, although not acceptable. It wasn't what it wasn't. Today's weed is not the weed it was then. Let me just say, it's different. It's different. Cannot tolerate what we have today. Y'all are crazy. So we do this just because statisticians need a way to define who you are. For some reason, usually marketing related. This article came out just 13 days ago. It was really convenient timing. Politico, it's from Politico, and the article is called "The MTV Generation's Unemployment Problem." So overall unemployment remains low, but growth in the unemployed population has recently been driven by older workers. This phrase killed me. What is an older worker? And he goes on to say, since layoffs began to accelerate in late 2022, so just last year, effectively all of the increase in unemployed population over the past 6 months has been among Generation X. X. So remember, the word previous was older generation and Gen X. This is not the young generation anymore. And it's kind of weird for some of us to go, Gen X is, the real deal. You're all grown up, right? I forget my kids are adults. They have children. They're all, it's kind of weird. So,
We got an article about ourselves.
what was that?
I'm surprised we actually got remembered to have an article.
Yeah, right, the forgotten generation, of course. Of course. So in this article, the author also wrote, we know that in a recession, older workers, particularly those in their 50s, just never recover. So I have no good news for you. Anytime. I know, you can't. The drinking begins, yeah. So I'm a pretty pleasant sort, typically. Good, John's not laughing in the back. But my patience wears thin when I've been marginalized. And if you really want to see me explode, that's how you do it. That's me if you boomer me. I will cut a bitch. Okay, boomer is so acceptable that, we'll come back to that. I went too far ahead. Wait, I can actually go back. How about it? Maybe. Oh, come on. Fine. Okay, boomer is so acceptable that it's the punchline of jokes. And when you've become a meme, you've made it. It's not acceptable from anybody. So, anyone know who said this? Come on, take a guess. Take a wild guess.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, that would have been awesome.
Sounds like something.
Who'd you say? Elon would have also been kind of strange because he's not younger. Zuck. Right? As soon as I realized that it was Zuck, I was like, oh yeah, I remember him saying this. I remember being pissed off then too. Why did he say this? What happened when he said this? He made some unfair assumptions, right? He assumed that we, of a certain age, are less tech savvy, right? Who's got a story about their grandma? Which one of you has ever told, and it's okay, this is a safe space, who has ever told a grandma tech story?
Does a mom text story?
A mom tech story, right? And have you noticed how it crosses not just the older person, and of course when you tell it, then everybody else has their own mom story to pile on, right? So we got this dog pile going, right? Everybody's mom sucks at tech. The dads don't suck at tech, just the moms. It is not typical that the story is a dad tech. A dad sucks at tech story. It is usually the mom or the grandma sucks at tech. So we have two things happening there, right? It's okay, you can admit it. It's okay. All it means is that we do better. So we have those unfair assumptions. We also know that older tech folks have less offerings for career development and advancement. When you ask for your ladder at work, do they give you one? Does everybody have a ladder at work? So, okay, good. Well, not good, but a ladder, if I say something you don't understand, just belt it out. It's okay, it's safe. So a ladder is your natural progression of your job. right? Excuse me. So you start from a level 1 tech and go to level 2 tech, level 3 tech, or manager, whatever your particular ladder at work is. We don't have those. Our career development opportunities are very small, if we have any at all. This is not going to be all bad, okay? We'll get to the good start, but we got to lay the foundation. So they are designed for younger workers who are ready to climb the ladder. And they leave out opportunities for us. And why does this happen? This stuff is embedded. Ageism is embedded in hiring practices. I had a recruiter once tell me that I needed to color my hair and put on makeup. She was older than me, too, which was really funny. Yeah, that was
The last thing she said?
pretty much. Pretty much.
She felt comfortable saying it to you,
Yeah, it was her last day at work, right? Can say anything on your last day at work. Yeah, so that didn't go over well. Yeah, and I needed to do that before she would even consider sending me on an interview. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was a tough 4 years, guys. It was a tough 4 years looking for a gig. HR departments know that when they have hiring biases, they are subject to they're subject to being penalized. So they have to couch this so that they don't legally risk their business. They have to couch their ageism, the last acceptable ism. They need to couch it in other ways. Like, do you remember the Facebook suit? Where Facebook had an algorithm for employers to target younger people to come and work for them. Facebook lost, by the way. Big. There was a burger company who, when women hit 52 and became expensive to insure, they systematically fired them, laid them up, reorged them. So because of that Facebook suit, HR departments have learned to do other things. They take video screening. Take video screening. No, really take video screening. They can see you. They know what you look like on a video screen. Now, we didn't have a choice during COVID, right? But that is a way that they can screen us. They will use, this one really pisses me off, they will use job titles like associate or entry level or some other minimizing job title so that folks like us don't apply, because who, with 15 years of experience, is going to go ahead and apply for an associate position? Now, I'm the exception, because I didn't care. But this is how they get around the law. And it's wrong, and it's unfair, and it's terrible, and it pisses me off. Or maybe you get the interview, but you are considered overqualified. Overqualified means you're old. Too old. And expensive. And expensive. We'll talk about the expense too, yeah. Or how about the job description has requirements for an education or a degree that didn't exist when you were in college? Right? Cybersecurity was not a major when I was in school. Wait, do I need to throw the cube at you?
10 years of Kubernetes experience. It hasn't been around for 10 years.
Right, it hasn't been around for 10 years, exactly. So yeah. So degrees that haven't been around for 10 years are in the job descriptions. So I want to know, class participation, how does this make you feel? Does anybody look at this and feel happy? Does anybody look at this and say, I want to work there? Does anybody look at this and say again?
Only because I know it's an Apple picture.
Only because you know, right. Does anybody look at this and say, I feel like this represents me? Okay, Alex, you don't count. This, everybody in here is young. They're super cool. They're thin. They're energetic, right? They're living the life. This is Apple. This is Apple's picture. I won't say this is Apple because that's not right, but this is right on their career page. Right on their career page. They're not the only ones. It was just the easiest one for me to find. So, we know that in a recession, older workers just never recover. We talked about that, I mentioned that one earlier. We know that we cost more, so employers tend to lay us off first. Right? There's reorgs going on. January sucked. 100 and, I don't know, I have the number further on. There were a lot of layoffs in January. The 55s and older are the ones who get laid off first. But what folks don't realize is that we get laid off for a couple of reasons. We are more expensive. We can't be molded quite as easily into the way they want people molded, right? We're not as influenced. We've seen a lot. We are not as influenced by stuff. And the natural attrition rate for employees 55 and above is significantly lower than for younger workers. We don't leave. Probably because it's so hard to get another gig. But we don't quit. And, for the record, we are not afraid of layoffs because we've been through it before. 2022 was not the toughest year of our lives, right? I can think of 2008. I can think of the dot-com bust, right? Those were unfun years. We've seen some things. We don't quit, and we're not afraid. So, Justin and I were talking earlier. He mentioned microaggressions. It's like, got that. I got that one. So microaggression, this is the actual definition of a microaggression. Has anybody ever complained that they've been microaggressed upon? I have. Yeah? What's the reaction? Denial.
Gaslighting.
Wait, what? Gaslighting. But what does gaslighting actually mean? It means somebody looks at you and says,
They diminish your complaint.
they diminish your complaint. That's not what happened. That's not what I said. You're being hysterical. You're being oversensitive. Right? Right? Microaggressions. So microaggressions are slights that are really hard to pinpoint, but they're always jarring and disturbing to the recipient. So making sure these things don't happen at work means we all have to behave our own selves and be good representatives and good stewards of good behavior and good speech, right? Like when I say, guys, bad me, but I'm working on it. So here's the really disturbing part. And there will be a collective intake of breath here. I'm ready for it. If you don't think this goes on in our own Mac admins community, folks, let me tell you something. These are from some very recent, like in the past month or two, conversations on Slack. We're just going to sit with this for a minute. I blacked out the names because I'm actually a really nice person. My instinct was to leave up everybody's icons and their names, but I won't do that. You can look them up. I mean, you guys are all capable of searching if you want to go beat somebody up verbally, but that's why I did it, so that it would disappear, so that, you know, you're not going to process. But this is unacceptable behavior.
And did anyone reach out to them and tell them what they were doing was unacceptable and wrong? Good, thank you.
Every time.
Good, thank you.
Every time. I will, he asked if for the tape, he asked if anybody reached out to them. Sorry, I'm not throwing the box around. I'm a very bad presenter girl. Yeah, I don't stand for it. When I see it, I say something, and invariably, I will get met with the response, I didn't mean it that way. It didn't mean you. Well, so the monolith is everybody boomer except me? I'm not sure what that meant. So yeah, this is a big deal within our own community. We need to clean up at home if we're going to clean up outside of home, right? Never be afraid to stand up. If you see it, if you see something, say something, right? Yes, Millie, wait. I'm going to throw you the box. I'm not going to throw you the box. I'm going to just pass it that way.
Where'd you go?
Back. Oh, snap. Woohoo!
Thank you. I'm trying to collect my thought.
Okay.
I think that there needs to be something said generally that there are individuals in the community, specifically in the MacAdmin Slack, that treat the MacAdmin Slack as if it was Reddit. And Reddit, it is not. I consider the MacAdmin Slack as a professional organization. And yes, there are places within that Slack where, like the general room, where people can talk and et cetera, but if you carry those sentiments, those unprofessional attitudes, even into your direct message conversations, you're still perpetuating the bad behavior that needs to be eliminated. And I'm sort of paraphrasing something. Oh, what is his name? James. He was a contemporary of Malcolm X. Thank you, James Baldwin. He's. I'm paraphrasing something that he said. If you take that and you still use it at home, it doesn't make you. It just keeps going.
Right, perpetuates the bit, right. So I won't request a response from anybody on the MacAdmin Slack team. I will not put you on the spot for something like that. But, and I know for a fact that the folks who run the MacAdmins team are aware of things that go on, because I tell them. But, and I don't have a problem with people letting loose in rooms. I do have a problem letting loose in rooms if you, when you make the statement, replace the word boomer with woman or black man or any other marginalized group that is not a monolith, which is everyone. That's when I have that's the issue. And they do take care of it. They really, really do. If they don't know about it, they can't take care of it.
And to be clear, it wasn't a criticism
I
of,
understand.
of the organization or the administrators. It's
Right.
just, that's been my general observation.
Sure. We need to be better behaved. John, can you throw that back to John? Because John has no opinions on anything.
I have never had an opinion on anything in my life.
I know.
One of the dangers of groups like the MacAdmin Slack, and you see this also on Mastodon, is when you start believing your own press about how good you are. MacAdmin Slack is particularly awful about this, and Mastodon may even be worse. Because if you buy certain views on Mastodon, oh, it's this wonderful place, and none of the bad stuff on Twitter happens, and then you see black people on Mastodon going, homie, yeah, it does.
Right.
And there's been entire instances that were primarily black instances driven off Mastodon.
Yes.
And you see the same thing happen in the MacAdmin Slack. It's one of the reasons why I ejected a while ago. The group.
We're not going to beat up on him.
The group. Well, but once you start believing your own press that you're whatever, you don't allow for the fact that there's things happening, and you
Right.
you start justifying certain things, and it's a very gradual. Well, they didn't. They're just passionate.
And I don't see that happening. Just so you know, other people may be experiencing it differently, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But I will say that anytime I have seen something and said something, it's been taken care of.
I will say this, if you go into the Adobe installer channel and you say, you know, it's actually gotten better over the years, oh, that's a bad thing to say. That is
Okay.
not the thing to say, because you will get brigaded that
I
way.
understand.
So there's a certain amount of groupthink, and that's the thing that people have to really watch for. And, you know,
Yes.
in any group, my theory on groups is the founders of the group, that's the IQ of the group, and it gets distributed over everybody who joins in. And so if the collective IQ of the founders of the group is 200, and now you have 20,000 people, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just a thing to keep an eye on. If you start buying into the we're better than, we don't do that, you're already kind of blinding
Okay.
yourself to some reality.
Okay. All right. Let's come back. Thank you all for that diversion. That was good. It was healthy. It's cleansing. We all feel better. Let's talk about some microaggressions that might not seem like they're microaggressions, okay? Those okay boomers things that I put up here were blatant. They weren't even micro. Calling videos of older people adorable. They're adorable. Or who changes the tone of their voice when they're talking to somebody who's older? Or who's had the person working with them change the tone of voice when they talk to you? Oh my God, are you sure you're okay? Do you understand this? Yeah, right? Makes you want to yeah, cut a bitch, I told you. How about saying an older job applicant isn't a good cultural fit? Oh, the C word. Looking for youthful, energetic, agile workers to join our team. It's code. It's code, dudes. It's code. Or how about, there's this long-standing theory, you probably haven't heard of it. Or how about, are you an intern? Because ageism goes both ways. It's not just folks telling us that we don't know X, Y, Z because we're too old to know something. It's also us thinking that folks who are very young, who are straight out of college, let's say, don't know anything, because that's not fair either. So we need to watch ourselves all around. Excuse me. And my personal favorite on the how to eliminate people is the sysadmin job that requires you to have the ability to lift 50 pounds.
What?
Of what? Who said that? Oh, thanks, Robert. Of what? Yeah. But we've all seen that, haven't we? Why?
50 pounds of feathers.
50 pounds of feathers. Who are they? who's doing their, who's deploying 1,000 systems and has to lift 50 pounds?
Are they Mac Pros?
Right? What year Mac Pro? No, they're Apple Share IP servers.
Laser 12660, thank you. I carry it downstairs by myself.
Unbelievable. That one just.
Fam, in their defense, and I'll use defense with a lowercase.
Wait. Where's the box? Come on. Oh, yeah, I'm making you do this on tape. Because the internet is forever, buddy.
I'll have to hug the box. In their defense, and I'm playing devil's advocate for a moment, and I'll put defense with a lowercase d.
Okay.
And as a guy who just did this last week, some of the trays of UPS batteries that I've seen have been 45 plus pounds.
Okay.
If that's part of the position, maybe that's a legit thing. But I admit that that's a very minor thing, and I admit that there are tools that can help get those positioned as well. So,
I mean, I can lift anything with a dolly.
Sure, with the right lever, you can do whatever you need.
Right. All right. So we're gonna move along because I'm getting a little sidetracked here. So we're gonna prove them wrong, right? Now's our chance to show them who we are. So for those of you who know me, you might know that the surest way to get me to do something is to tell me that I am not capable of it. I won't do it happily, and I might bite, but I have accomplished a lot, having been told I was too old, too much of a mom, a girl, too high maintenance, too low maintenance, too non-committal, too commitment-oriented. You see the pattern here, right? Too short, too heavy, too light, too small, too loud, too soft. Okay, that one rarely. I have been introduced to a high-level Apple person by a competitor of mine when I was in business as a good consultant for home users. You know that Twitch icon that we have in Slack? It's me. So when I'm asked, why should I hire you? I come up with reasons. We have experience, not just job experience. Y'all, we got life experience. We have seen things. We have raised families. We may have raised families and parted families and raised more families. We have juggled job and home, job and life and school. We've done a lot. All of your experience in life counts, not just the work that you do that you get paid for. I spent 10 years as a stay-at-home mom. You know what kind of patience that takes? I love my children. I was really happy when they went to school. So here's some other things you should know as an employer. Who's an employer? Anybody an employer here? Oh, yeah, okay, good. So just in case, we're just gonna talk. We're gonna have a talk. Older employees are more likely to be loyal. We're cool. We do it from the heart. You're good to us, we're good to you. I feel like Queen Latifah in Chicago. Sorry. The reference just went right through my head and I had to say it out loud. Onboarding is expensive. Onboarding is super expensive, guys and girls. If you keep us around, we don't cost you the onboarding. Older employees are often skilled problem solvers. We have a bigger view of the world, right? We're not just taking college and bringing it to the server room. We know people, we've talked to people. We've had to deal with the bullies in school or our friends, our kids' friends who have had issues with our kid, whatever the thing, we've had a lot. We have this giant view. We have better communication skills than people right smack out of college. Typically, I know that was a monolithic statement. I understand that. I understand that. We know time management. We know people. We know a lot of people. We don't know just our sorority or fraternity or whatever group we hung out with in school, right? Our LinkedIns are huge, and most of the people, I don't know about you, but I literally know 90% of my LinkedIn network. Know them. We bring a lot to the table. And the coolest thing, when in an interview, when somebody, or at work, when somebody is asking you something that feels like it's going to be a microaggression, is to turn around and say, could you explain to me why? Or what does that mean? Right? You want somebody who can lift 50 pounds? Why? I don't understand. So what do we do now? We look at our resumes. We do 1 page. Okay, sometimes 2, because some of us have a lot of skills. 10 years, that's it, right? We've heard this advice before, 10 years tops. I propose not even doing a regular old resume, do a skills resume. Top part of your resume is all the skills and accomplishments. And itty-bitty on the bottom is who you used to work for and your education. Because what they want is the stuff you have to give them, not where you came from. Plus, you got to get through those stupid-ass ATS systems, right? You do that with skills. You don't do that with college. Apply for everything. Remember those jobs that are helper jobs, junior level jobs? Apply for them. Doesn't matter, apply for them. Apply for everything, because the more times you throw your stuff out there, the more likely, the more bait you put out, the more fish you're going to catch. So apply for everything. Stay relevant. This one's hard because we want to know everything about everything, but you can't. So find the couple of things that you really want to learn and become the expert. Stay on top of it. I don't do day-to-day tech anymore. Excuse me. And I'm okay with this. Why am I okay with this? Because I stay on top of tech. I understand it. I'm not going to lose what I already know, at least not in the near future. Stay on top of the field that interests you most. Learn something new. Neuroplasticity is a thing. Make your brains work. Keep them working. What do I have next? Make a big deal out of being able to navigate your work-life balance. No more are we working 80 hours a week, except for Robert.
It's only 60.
It's only 60, all right. No more do we feel the need to work 80 hours a week.
Unless it's every other
Unless it's every other week, yeah. No. We have lives. We have built lives. We didn't work this many years to continue working, and that's our only life. Sorry, it's not. Our mental health is health. Our mental health is super, super, super important. You need to take care of that. It's no different than taking care of your heart or your kidneys or your liver or any other part of you. Mental health is health. share your knowledge. Is anybody a mentor? The rest of you need to be mentors. I'm just going to say it. You will learn as much as you teach by being a mentor. And if you get stuck mentoring, there will be another mentor to help you. I have been a mentee at work, and I am now about to become a mentor at work. And I'm really excited because I've got 2. I'm scared to death. No lie, I'm really scared how bad I could fuck up somebody's life. Right? But I have support. I am not alone at my job. I have an amazing team that I work with. I have an amazing boss. I have an amazing larger team. I mean, the women's group that we have at work is phenomenal. Who was? Oh, I think it's Graham who talked about at his employer, they have a Slack for older workers, and they call it Wisdom. How cool is that, right? Start a Wisdom channel at work. Do something so that you are giving, because when you give, it makes you more valuable, and it enriches you. So let's see. I got that done, I got that done, I got that done. Oh, here's a little hope. The Wall Street Journal on June 25th wrote that the Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that the workforce participation among people 75 and older will climb to 11.7% by 2030, which is up from 8.9% in 2020. The participation rate for every other age group is expected to decline. Important to note that this is across all labor, not just tech. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's not necessarily positive. That's probably because they have to go back to some terrible job
Well,
to afford to live.
that is true. But there's a whole lot of us who want to keep working until we're 70-something. So yeah, some people will have to work. Right, that's why I said it's across all labor. Well, and everybody, it also means that everybody in the baby boomer generation will be 65 by 2030 or older. So we're going to keep working. We're going to keep working for it. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're going to take a short diversion because y'all need to know about pockets. We're going to talk about equity. We will go on a short little trip, a little history lesson, folks. You will notice that when we say pockets, men are going, huh? And all the women were like, yes! So why is this? It's because it has never been an issue for you men. Ever. Ever, ever. But women, we've been complaining about this for decades, centuries even. In medieval times, everyone carried bags. Men carried bags, women carried bags, tied them around their waist. That's how they got around. In the late 17th century, pockets decided to show up. No, they designed clothing with pockets for men. Women had to lift the skirt and go under the first petticoat where they had a bag tied around their waist if they wanted to get anything. And just so you know, these bags were teeny. Anybody know why?
Didn't have anything.
Women were not allowed to own anything. Exactly. So they had enough to go to market and get their chicken and go back home. But, in order to get to that, they basically had to get undressed. So they stayed home. In the late 18th century, during the French Revolution, clothing for women became cut close, right? So they weren't these big skirts anymore. They were more, physically defined closer to their bodies. And pockets were, Pockets were outlawed. I love this reason. To keep women from covert operations concealing revolutionary material. Girls rule the world.
Girls were doing printing.
Girls are doing the printing.
It was voted back.
We were rocking it, man. We were rocking it. In 1881, the Rational Dress Society was founded in London. Bless their hearts. I'm so happy for them. They saved us. They advocated for women's rights to dress in clothes that were comfortable and allowed movement, unlike the tight-fitting corsets that we had to wear previous to that were injurious to our bodies, because nobody's shaped like that. But it wasn't until 1910 that the Rational Dress Society's advocacy resulted in a six-pocket suffragette suit. This was the height of women's rebellious fashion. We were rebellious. Why? We were so rebellious that the New York Times printed the headline, "Plenty of pockets in the suffragette suit, all in sight and all easy to find, even for the wearer." I may be twitching again. Men's suits at the same time, by the way, had 15 pockets. I don't know how they found them all. By the end of World War II, we had pockets. Why? Because the men were at war and we were working in the factories, and you can't carry a purse into the factory because it's dangerous. So we had pockets. We had pockets in our shirts. We had big pockets in our pants. We could carry lots of tools. We were rocking. Life was good for us then, right? Until 1954, and the lovely Christian Dior came up with this bullshit. Along with the statement, men have pockets to keep things in, women for decoration. So, fuck you, Dior. Aren't you glad I have the warning? And we were once again relegated to carrying a bag. And today, we have pockets, right? Yo, we got pockets that are 48% shorter than men's and 6.5% narrower.
Yes.
If we're lucky.
That's the standard. No, this is the fashion standard. It's not an if you're lucky. This is the fashion standard. So we'll talk in the monolith there. All right.
Is that why the iPhones are always hanging out and almost ready to fall?
Yes.
Hang tight. Hang tight. I got you here. This is a real quote that was printed in the Times. God bless it. This was for real. They wanted to keep women down. Oh, look at that. I put it on 2 slides. Shame on me. It happens. I'll fix it. I have no idea what's going on here. Okay, so I want everybody to stand up. See, I told you, class participation. Okay, take out your phones. Everybody take your phones out. Hold them up. Everybody? Okay, I want you to take your phone and I want you to put it in your front pocket. All right, now I want you to, without touching your phone, sit. Whose phones are still in their pockets? Oh, awesome. Whose phones are not still in their pockets?
I'll send you an Amazon link later.
Please. Right? Right. It's sticking out or it's falling over. Right? Yeah. This is what we deal with.
Phone's too big.
What was that?
Phone's too big.
Yeah, it's the phone's problem. We're holding it wrong, right? It's awesome, we're holding it wrong. Okay, so we're gonna do one more thing. We'll do another class participation. I need a volunteer. I need a male volunteer.
Fine.
All right, come on. I want your phone.
Yep. It's a mini.
I want you to put your phone in here.
Sure. My phone does not have a case.
It's fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Now I want you to put this on your shoulder and are you righty or lefty?
Righty.
Take your right hand, wrap it around the back of the strap, and hold here. And oh, by the way, do you have a set of keys in your pocket?
No.
Somebody give me your keys.
Oh, I have a seal.
No, that's not the same. I need keys. Sweet. Okay, so in your, that's not enough keys. I need keys. I need house keys, car keys. Give me keys. All right. Got him. Anthony, come on, I got keys. Do all the ladies know where I'm going with this? Okay, so Anthony, here's what you're gonna do. You are going to hold these keys like this. Does everybody see this? Do you know why? Do the men know why we do this? Okay. So you're going to hold the keys between your fingers. Wait, who said no? Seriously, who said no? They don't know why we're holding keys like that.
And it's okay to say.
It's okay. We hold our keys like that so we don't get raped. That's why. We take our hand around the back of the bag strap and we hold here so that we have a good hold on the bag so that somebody doesn't pull us and knock us down. Okay? So you're going to do that.
Okay, so I gotta do this in stages now.
There you go. Good. Around there. Hold on. Okay, now what you're going to do is just jog up and down, and you're going to unzip that bag and grab your phone.
Okay, so.
Oh, keep holding the keys.
Yeah, okay. Okay, there we go.
Y'all are getting this, right?
Okay, and I'm
Is
jumping.
this hard? You're going to go back? You can even walk. I'll let you walk, because you're not running for your life like we would be. Just walk up and down and unzip the bag and find your phone. Call 911, really. Sorry, he's catching up.
Am I supposed to attack him?
You're about done. All right, good job. You have now been attacked, knocked down, and raped.
Oh, no, it's just an abrasion, it's fine.
I didn't even have anything sharp in there. I had makeup.
It's fine.
Okay, I'll buy you a case cover. So, do you see why pockets are important? Without sufficient pockets, we are unsafe. We are dependent. We are not free. Yes, Charles, wait, who's got the box? I may feel passionately about this topic. Yes, sir.
How many Apple Watches with voice control did Apple sell simply because of that kind of demonstration?
No
where
idea.
You can
I don't know
talk
that.
to your wrist and call emergency services, because obviously is a use case.
It is a use case. I have no idea. I don't know that they ever did a test or a marketing projection that way. I don't know. Anybody know?
I mean, it's a good idea, but what about people who can't afford that Apple Watch?
We're not all
$500 watch.
able to afford it. This is not just about us sitting in this room. This is bigger. This is bigger than us. All right, so pockets. That was my diversion. But it does lead to something. So this is, these are fairly recent, again, stats of the global gender percentages in the work world. The global number is really critical because this number has not changed in 2 decades. 20 years, and we have made this much progress. In the tech sector, we're doing a little better. Who's willing to take 82% of their salary right now? All the women are doing that. So these are the percentages of women employed. I told you, this pay scale site, they've got all the stats. They're very cool. These are basically the gender percentages the women percentages at these companies.
Now do teaching and nursing.
Oh, I won't go there.
I'm just saying, there's different fields where.
Why do you think that is? We can have a whole discussion on why you think that is.
I'm just saying, there's
I can tell you that,
It's not gonna go well for you.
yeah, this may not be the hill you want to die on.
Because you will die. My wife's a public school teacher, so yeah, I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I am thrilled for your wife. Thank goodness we have teachers. Right? But had she been led to another direction, life might be different. Robert, grab the box. Charles? Check it. All right. Robert?
One thing I want to point out about SpaceX on there is that the president and CEO is Gwynne Shotwell, and diversity and inclusion is her
That's
priority.
awesome.
The problem with traditional aerospace is that it is a heavily male-dominated industry. But
So is
as a
tech.
company, there is a definite push to hire more people.
That's wonderful.
The person that I hired to work with me is a woman.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I'm
And I
thrilled to
didn't
hear
hire her
that.
because she was actually an ex-genius, the best person we interviewed. Just so happened she'd be a woman, so.
Yeah, but why is it a heavily male-dominated industry when women started it?
Aerospace?
Yeah.
Women started it?
You know, all
I didn't hear you, Jen.
I was thinking of, you know, all the women that were involved with making all the calculations and going to
Oh,
the
in-
moon and the math.
All the
and-
amazing black women who
Yeah,
were responsible for NASA.
why are
and
they all
getting the-
gone?
Yeah.
The woman who does all the person who does all the calculations, all the mechanical calculations for SpaceX launches is a woman.
So it sounds like there should be more women.
Millie?
So I just want to point out, I'm not mad at any of the guys here.
No, not at all.
And I don't think any of the women are angry at the guys here.
Right.
What I will say is, we, dare I say, depend on all of you to be allies, not just for
Indeed.
us, but for everyone else.
Indeed.
I got out of the public education field. I wanted to be a teacher. I was in education for 10 years, working with learning disabled students. And I got out because I couldn't pay my bills.
Yeah.
I now am part of that 26% at Amazon,
Cool.
and I make more money than my husband.
Well, as it should be.
The only reason I make more money than he does is because of a different reason that has to do with the way that we don't get promotions in our aging group anymore.
There you go. We got it.
And the way that promotions are now done is you have to switch jobs.
Yes.
And
Yes.
to wrap
We'll-
this up, my brother is an English teacher who works in an underprivileged a sector, and he loves his job, but he struggles to pay his
Right.
bills.
Right.
So-
Look, sectors of the work world we know.
So please
We all-
don't take our comments.
We're not
in a
angry at you guys.
defensive-
We're just angry.
Yeah.
Take it for that. No, look, this is a big deal. This is all a big deal. So let's talk about the big lie. I had a list of things. The last time I did this, I had a list of things us older folks should do to get them to notice us, right? And it boiled down to show the potential or current employer how much money you can make them or save them, and they'll forget you're over 40 or female or, whatever. And I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe it's up to us to solve that problem of why we're not getting hired. Screw that. We need to change the think. Because just showing them how much money you can make them might work, but it doesn't make it right. Right? We're talking about equity. We are not talking about equality. The difference between equity and equality. In equality, I give each of my children a half a PBJ. In an equity situation, I give the hungriest child the food he needs. I give each of my children the food they need to power their bodies. I don't need the same thing at work that Will needs. I don't need the same thing at work that Jen needs. Equity is going to treat everybody as an individual. I feel this very strongly. If you make someone feel seen, if you hear them, it's the greatest gift you can give them. So I asked some folks at my company to talk about DEI with me, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And what they said was, you can't have once-a-year training or discussion on DEI and consider yourself good to go. This is not a one-and-done thing. It's not a checkbox. It's a constant, regular assessment of where you are at any given time. How do you support your coworker? I asked one person how we support our coworkers from marginalized communities. And I can't even remember who said it. So they said back to me, by continuing to push for them to have space to share their lived experiences and to listen when they tell us how we can support them. It's not for me to say, I can support you by blah. It's for me to say, what is the best way for me to support you? Leaders, are folks here leaders and their managers? I call you leaders if you actually lead. So for leaders in the room, it's your responsibility. The onus is on you to say to your employees, your team, how can I best support you? What do you need from me to make you better at your gig, to have you have a better career experience? Inclusivity is all about education, believing others' experiences, analyzing our role in reducing marginalization, and recognizing our own privilege. We in this room are very privileged. Every one of us. We have great jobs that pay. We're sitting at a conference with buddies. We're having a good time. We're laughing. We're talking about pockets. We're really, really lucky. Not everybody is so lucky, right? The guy's packing in the Amazon plant. Shit. The UPS drivers who are in the hot cars that without air conditioning and 110 degrees. We're really lucky. So what can companies do to support this? They can be transparent. They can create DEI initiatives, and they can do training. So they can post proper job descriptions. For Pete's sake, people. Right? Give an honest and true job description with salaries posted. Real salaries, not the $55,000 to $250,000. That's a bunch of crap. That's not real. Make them real. Offer paid leave and childcare. These two things alone are proven to close the gender pay gap. Talk to your companies. Create workplace policies that promote diversity and communicate those goals to everyone. Offer diverse opportunities. Use employee management apps that promote diversity. I don't know what those are because I'm not in an HR situation, but some of y'all leaders might. Educate your managers about inclusion. Create a mentorship program. Here we are again. We're back to mentorship. Mentorship is good. Create a mentorship program. Offer diversity training to address implicit biases. These are all, if you're not in a position to do those things, to implement those things, bring those things to your team manager. Bring big ideas in. Show them you care about the company to make the company better, and it works for you as well. Team leaders, encourage learning. Check on your people. Check on your people. Your one-on-ones don't have to be about work. They can be about the kids. They can be about, are you okay? How's your health? What'd you do over the weekend? Those are all okay one-on-ones. Mentorship programs, again, you can see I have a bias towards mentorship programs. Lean on your more experienced problem solvers. Who are those more experienced problem solvers? Us old folks, right? So, what if you want out of IT? If you want to stay in IT and you're looking for a job, hang in there. Keep doing it, keep networking, keep talking. We have jobs board on the Slack, right? Keep applying. Apply for everything. Join other IT communities. Find interests outside of IT. If you hyper-focus, life sucks. Branch out. Do something different. Find something that you can love as much as you love IT. I don't have any data to support this, but every single person I know who's gotten a job has gotten it through networking. Know more people, build more relationships, talk to everybody, be kind, be accepting, be fun, don't be happy. I can't tell you to be happy, that's stupid. But I can tell you to be pleasant. Yes.
Make sure to leverage that network when you actually do have it.
Make sure to leverage that network when you actually have something. So it's not just for you to go to that network and say, I need a job, anybody have one? It's, I have a job, who needs one? This goes both ways. You get what you give. So if you're in a position where you are ready to leave IT, day-to-day IT, and I dig that, I did it, I'm happier than I've been in years, continue to stay active, continue to stay fresh, keep your knowledge up, stay in touch with people in the tech community, because something else is going to happen. Something will come along. It's gonna. But you'll need to have a decent grasp on tech. There's no way. You can't just divorce yourself from the tech world. It's not going to happen. So we want to find ways to share with each other and find other careers. Let people know if you want out of tech. Let people know, I want out of tech. I want to build websites or whatever the thing is. There might still be an opportunity within your company to do something you're not already doing, right? So, like if Robert wanted to, I don't know, build a rocket instead of put iPads on whatever shuttle is going up, he could do it, maybe. But there's other things. Your company does more than just need tech people. There's other stuff that happens in your company. Learn a new skill. You like the numbers? Go take some accounting classes. There's lots of things we can do, right? We did it. I can't believe that I had 30 minutes of stuff, and we are 38 seconds out. I will give you your time back. And my allergies are killing me today.